You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona, and with me always are my good friends.
Jay from the hills of Texas.
And Shannon G in Mesa AZ.
And we are so glad to have you. We appreciate everything that you do for us, listener-wise. If you haven't already, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up and share. Sharing it always helps the algorithms, and that helps us get the word out. And
sharing is caring.
That is.
That is. I was thinking the same thing.
And yeah, we appreciate everybody that made comments on our last episode. That always helps us out as well. We were able to kind of respond to some of those. We were getting, I think the last episode we talked about the John Morgan Electric Fun Fly, which is up in St. George, Utah. And some of the guys that were listening kind of, replied to us. And so we really appreciate that. We were able to talk to Shannon about, everything going on up there. And he kind of went and visited with Barrett. And then this last weekend, actually it'll be 2 weekends when you hear this, but this last weekend you were able to go up there and kind of participate in the festivities. So
yeah, it was really cool. First thing is I got in trouble because I wasn't supposed to let the cat out of the bag about the Arado yet. No one had posted. No. Jared's like, that wasn't supposed to be a surprise. I'm like, you didn't tell me that. Oh, I just thought you knew.
Oops.
Yeah. So, but it was all good. It was all good. And a few people knew about it because he had having other people help him on designing it. But,
gotcha.
But yeah, so we went up to St. George, drove up on Wednesday night. We went out to the field on Thursday, got all our stuff set up and got some flights in. And their field is so beautiful. It's the Remote Possibilities RC Club. I want to give a shout out to them. Got to spend some time with their president Joe, just talking about clubs, just club stuff and how it runs and what all they have to go through and they've got a beautiful facility. They work with the city. They work with BLM, a couple other in their organization, but it's really top notch. So got some ideas to share with our field.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, just that's one of the best things about this hobby. Just get to talk to everybody,
sure,
and share your ideas, and it's really cool. So we got the Arado out. We did some taxi tests on Thursday. He wanted to wait till Friday when it was a bigger crowd, I think, or somebody was supposed to show up that wasn't there yet. I think that's what it was. It was John Kay, who does like on a lot of the videos, the Just Wing It guy. I think we.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we know John.
Sure.
So yeah, so Thursday was pretty low key at the field, but then we went to Ace to get some supplies to fix something with the van, and then the van broke.
Oh, yeah. When it rains, it pours.
It pours. Yeah. That's right. So we worked through that. We got a rental car, and it took a little hat. It was hard to get a rental car there, believe it or not.
Yeah,
St. George is a popular place. There's lots of tourism. So
yeah.
So we got a car, and we were able to get around. Friday, the weather started out absolutely perfect. I mean, I only took a couple planes. I took the big T-28, which just looks good in the air no matter what. And I took my Hawker Hunter, flew that a bunch of times, and I got a lot of guys like really, really were liking to see that. And I took my little F8 Crusader, my little 50 millimeter one, or 64 millimeter one, and I don't know what it was, but it just would not get it. I took off and I could not hold any altitude, and it just went in. It's not bad, but it was just like it didn't want to fly up there. So put it in the
it's a little bit higher altitude up that way.
I was going to say, what's the altitude up there? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And that was something we definitely were talking about at different times. And so we did that. And then Friday morning, the big maiden of Barrett's plane came around, and thing just took right off the ground, no hassle. He doesn't fly with any Expo, and I don't know. I know Mike does, obviously. Do you fly with Expo, Jay?
Yeah.
And okay, most of us do to some degree, right? I mean, it's pretty standard. But he's old school, so like, I mean, he's analog, if you want to. And I love it. He's analog, and he flies all his planes like that. And but what's funny is when people go to fly his planes,
yeah,
they're like, "Do you have any expo on this?" And he's like, "No, what's that?" And so you got to do a lot, and Brent Heck was pretty much like, okay, after he flew it, because he let Brent Heck fly it once, he's like, you got to put some expo because it'll make your flight so much better.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting this thing, you're fighting it, but it flew great, and he landed it, and big round of applause. The crowd went wild. Beautiful plane in the air. I mean, it sounds good. Those the free wing power system. It was just off the ME-262. Was perfect for it. Didn't CG's right, just a little trim. It was just great. So he got about 6 flights the whole weekend out of it, which was I think respectable. And he let Brent fly it. His last flight was kind of bouncing him around, so he's like, I think I'm just gonna cut my losses and bring it in. So, but he was getting used to smart. He's getting used to the expo with that.
Oh, so Brett put some expo in for him.
He put some, he talked him into it. Nice. Yeah, he talked him into it just a little bit, like 20%.
Yeah, that's what I found.
He's like, he said, it made a difference. So you can definitely tell.
When we were at the Gilbert Quiet Flyers, I flew for 2 or 3 years without any expo. I didn't know anything about expo. Everything was at 100%. Yeah. And when I first started learning, I think that was better for me because you had to be so much smoother on the sticks. You couldn't be banging the sticks around, or your airplane was all going to be twanging around. And so when I eventually found expo, I was like Brent. I was just like, wait a second, this is like a whole different airplane. It
game changer.
So much
it
different.
Does.
But my expo is always between 20 to 30. It just depends on the airplane, but even on my EDF jets and even on my big turbine jets, I fly with probably around 32 to 33, but I've never gone above 35 usually.
Yeah, I'm roughly in the
sometimes
same
on the smaller jets, I may get it up to 40.
Yeah.
But this is just kind of funny to just be sitting here listening to this, So of course, when I met Jim, he was a guy who used expo. He knew about expo, but the problem was he used too much expo to the point where I would be turning the plane for whatever type of plane it was, and I'm like, I got it in a steep bank, or I'm coming down and I'm getting a little aggressive on it, and the plane's not responding, and I'm like, oh crap, something's wrong with the plane, right? Because I'm honking back on this thing, or I try to do a maneuver, and I'm like, and I'm like, it's not responding to it. And I'm like, what is wrong with this now? And it would affect me more when I'd be getting the plane set up to land. I'd be coming in to land the plane. And I'm just like, okay, give me a little, you're just giving that little nudge or whatever, get your glide slope right, or you're doing whatever. And the plane's just doing its thing, and it's just kind of going to the left, or it's going, it's going wherever. And I'm like, what is wrong with this? Something's wrong with it. Hey, Jim, I think we got a problem. And he's like, what's the problem? There's no problem, And I'm like, okay. I was trying to pull back, and it was funny because it was one of those things where I'm flying his stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I must be crazy, because he'd fly it. He's like, it flies great. And Mike happened to come down for a visit, I go, hey man, fly this plane around the pattern and tell me what you think. And Mike's like, yeah man, no problem. He takes it off flying around. He's like, something's wrong with this thing. And I'm like, I knew it. So then we sat him down. We're looking through the radio, and sure enough, he was like, oh yeah, I just have a little expo in there. And we're like, okay. And I don't remember what turned us to
well, I looked at it. He told me that he had a little expo in there, and I said, oh, well, let's see how much it is. And he flipped over to the screen. It was 99%.
Oh
yeah, it was something. It was way up.
So he thought it was the other way around. Did he think it was okay,
or whatever it was? Yeah. He had it where it was like way up. So you would go all the way full stick, and then it would get full deflection and just go.
And then you get full deflection, and the plane would be like, "Whoa!" Right.
I rolled it all back down to 20. Right. Yeah, I rolled it all back down, and then
it was a bit of a horror show, like you said, because you'd be kind of we're trying to finesse the plane onto the ground or whatever, and you're just going almost the sticks to the buried deep in the corner, and then all of a sudden the plane would like want to flip over, do 40 rolls.
That's like the old school push button, push
yes,
push the button
exactly
with the full deflection,
whack.
Push.
Well, anyway,
So-
well, good. I'm glad to hear the Barrett is using Expo, or is starting
Yes,
to. I think that
starting
he
to.
will be happy with that. So,
And he started to use the IX-14 that he won at
Nice.
AEF.
Oh,
So,
yay.
yeah, so he got that plane on there, and we had to, because he was using two different brands of retracts, one for the nose gear, one for the mains. So we had to mix it.
Oh yeah,
And so I had to do a mix for him. And then he started putting a couple of other, because he has a radio that he uses for his boats primarily.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
it has the ratchet spring load on it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to turn a plane on of his, you got to hold the throttle stick down, otherwise it goes to the throttle kicks in.
Oh,
And
whoops.
right.
Whoops.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let's start moving planes from that radio, your boat radio, over to the IX-14. So we're working on that too. But,
yeah, I have to laugh because he commented on our show, and he said, "It's not that I don't want to use the X4, I'm saving it." So it was pretty funny.
I'm like, it's like
saving it.
saving it. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, because I may run out of models.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to fill it up. Just
Yeah,
don't want to fill it up.
Yeah, but he's loving it, so he's
Well,
gotten
good.
that. So then we had a lot of our regular friends from AEF, the Solts, Jeremy and Kyler were there. It was like I kept asking him, like, are they coming? Like, oh, I don't know. And there was kind of like oh, we got to surprise Shannon with something. So I don't know if it's just me, but they're like, oh yeah, surprise, we're here.
Yeah.
So it was good to see them. And then Justin Lamb.
Yeah.
He came down, him and his girlfriend, and then I mentioned Scott Ramirez, another scratch builder. He made a really cool plane this time. He took a Park Zone T-28, the smaller one, the 1.2 meter one, and he turned it into a Navion.
Oh, no
you know
kidding!
What a Navion is? It's like old school. Yeah. It's got a cabin. It's got retracts. It's an old school, 4-seat airplane, but built in the late 40s, early 50s. Look it up, Jay.
Okay.
It's a cool plane though, but he did it up and he totally, he had to do a lot of work. I mean, it's so little of it's still the T-28, but he has that knack of taking a plane and turning it into something completely. Yeah. And he's really good.
So I actually have flown the real one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I was in college,
of course
there was a guy I know I've got a crap ton of them, but yeah, I actually flew one in college. So not a lot, but I there was a guy on the field, and I went up with him, got a little time in the Navion.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Beautiful airplane. Mm-hmm. I mean, just a classic.
It's comfortable
classic.
too. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Comfortable airplane. Yeah.
And like I'd been saying, like Scott was in Hollywood. Well, I guess I didn't talk to him for so long. He's no longer in Hollywood. He's still kind of just doing the artsy stuff. But he's going to come back out to AEF. We had a good time talking, and then a group of guys from Texas we started talking with. They're going to come out. At least one of them, the one who's retired, Paul. He's going to come out to AEF. But they had some really cool planes. The coolest one they had was a Tu-22 Blinder bomber. It's a Russian bomber from the Cold War. And both Iran and Iraq used them in the Iran-Iraq War and a couple other places. But long retired, but very cool jet. It's got the engines in the back on the tail like a DC-10, like two engines on the back like a DC-10, not on the side like a CRJ or DC-9. But this plane was huge, and it was probably underpowered. Brent Heck was tasked with getting it in the air, and they kept working on it. They working on it all weekend. I mean, it was like open heart surgery. This plane, everyone's like, it was like the gallery, like on ER. They're like watching, the surgery, and they're just doing all this stuff to get this plane. I can't get the left side working. Can't get the right side working. Get the crash cart in here. It's crazy. Finally get it all together. The first flight, they go to taxi it out, and the nose gear just falls off. So somebody just forgot a set screw or something. It's just, but they got all the parts and they could fix it. And then the second flight, or the second attempt, a little while later, it was late in the day. It really had warmed up, so the density altitude probably was a factor. But plane got in the air, but it was really kind of wobbling back and forth, and just barely cleared the fence at the far end of the field, and just kept wobbling, and it just wasn't going to go any further. So they let it go in. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it broke in a few places, but the main thing is they're going to up the power.
Right.
And they're going to do a few. He says, "Yeah, we're going to do a few things, but we're definitely going to do it again." The other cool plane, I totally forgot this one until just a little while ago. So we've all seen the HSD 747. There was a guy that brings it. I think Jeff Willis brings
it. It's a KLM. Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't KLM. Well, this other guy that brought another one. He did it up as the NASA shuttle carrier.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yes. So
for a minute there, I thought you said NASCAR.
No,
I'm like Braisdale.
No,
all right,
yeah. Braisdale. Go fast and turn left.
I'm a big NASCAR fan, by the way. So, but
well, if you ain't first, you're last.
That's right. Yeah. Checkers or wreckers. Ricky Bobby's my spirit animal.
I know, right?
There you go.
That's funny.
But anyway, so beautiful paint scheme. Did like the metal. I think he did like the metal stuff on it, and he had, so didn't have the shuttle on it, but he had the framework for like the mount for it. So apparently he's building the shuttle for it.
Okay.
He just didn't actually finish it and put it on there, but he flew that a couple times, and that was just cool to see in the air. I mean, that's just such a majestic airplane. And so iconic, but he had the twin tails in the back, and it just looked really, really good in the air. So that was really, really cool. Lots of other stuff. The guy had a EDF powered sailplane, pretty big one, and he had smoke canisters on the wingtips. I don't know how much he spent on those things. Probably a couple $100 just alone on the smoke generators, but he'd fly that thing all day and all night. Brent Hecht had his T-20 or T-38 Talon, and another guy, Andy, the same guy that had that sailplane, they have those set up as FPV now, and they flew those like crazy all weekend. But on Saturday they bumped, and Brent's didn't go in, but the other guy's plane went in, so they lost one. It was pretty bad. They bumped and went in, and there's a couple other crashes, nothing too serious. I mentioned the mic earlier about it. This one guy, he burned his finger.
That was nasty.
He was wiring his plane up, his big giant EDF with multiple batteries, and he thought he had plugged all the batteries in. Now it was just to the plane, and he didn't. He shorted it and went right across his finger, and it was all black and singed and charred, and it was not pretty. And they took him to the ER.
That's a funny segue. I sent Mike a video of a guy who was having electrical problems, and it's just this guy. He has like this thing on YouTube. It's just kind of this funny thing. And I sent Mike a video of him earlier. He was trying to make his own heated seats, and he ended up setting his pants on fire.
Jeez.
And then they just had this. So this video I have is like a compilation of his exploits. Now I don't know if it's all real or it's fake, but it sure is funny.
Yeah.
And he at one point he was working on the ESC, and he's trying to hook it up, and like the thing falls over, and he catches it, and he shorts right across his hands. He catches it, and it was like antics like that. It's crazy. It's
wow.
There's
I
some
can't
crazy
imagine
stuff,
he's doing that on purpose,
watch.
but
well, who knows? To get some views, maybe we might have to start doing some of that stuff to get better views.
How about that? I think
I'm thinking we should go for the nut shots. That's what that's really popular.
RC planes and
burn up my shop
Squawk.
in the background.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Well, or we had the good old on I think the most famous one is, at least in pop culture, was when they did the thread the needle on Modern Family. Did you ever see that one episode?
I don't know if I saw
No, I
that.
don't think I saw that one.
Jay takes out the son-in-law to go flying, and they're actually flying at Apollo Field in L.A.
Oh, okay.
And he has him go up and hold a hula hoop up, and he's got a park zone.
Yeah.
He's got a park zone Corsair, and he says, "Hold that hoop up. I'm gonna fly right through," and he just like plowed it right into him. And so
awesome.
if you look up thread the needle on Modern Family,
Modern
it pops
Family.
right up. Yeah, it's
true.
hilarious. And I don't know. I think what they end up doing is probably the prop was off and they threw it.
Yeah, probably so.
To get it to look that way, but it was like boom, right in the face.
That's funny. Hold that up.
So,
thread this needle.
Yeah, I'm gonna thread the
Well,
needle.
I think we've all been there. I've actually hit myself with my own airplane one time at the bus stop. So luckily, all the kids had already gotten on the bus. But it was crazy. I wound up with a bunch of stitches. So
blood flying everywhere. Just what the little kids want to see before they go to school.
Cross right there. Yeah.
So, yep. Thank goodness for
But
Blender.
But it was a great weekend, great facility, great people. We had good food.
Yeah.
Friday night we had a squall, best term to say, came through, and we were like holding everything down, like the guys with their canopies that had brought their own canopies, like we're holding that down. We're throwing planes as best we can, without having to take them apart into the van and whatever car, hide them under cars so they wouldn't blow away. I'm standing over my T-28, the wind's just howling around us. It's raining, and the rain wasn't too bad. It was just that wind. It was just really, really pushing through, and we kept watching it, and finally it kind of died down. But that kind of slowed things down for that evening. We were right in the middle of dinner. They had brought they were making chicken tacos for us, and I got 2 right before the wind hit, and then some people just didn't get any, so I felt bad.
That's terrible.
But other than that, it was just mornings were perfect, a little warm in the afternoon, but still flyable, and definitely want to go back. So I would if we ever talk about doing another event, going and doing like a live shot and just having fun. This is a fun event.
Yeah.
It's not even an AMA sanctioned event. It's just kind of a fun fly. You still got to have your AMA.
Right.
Because it's AMA field, but they just have you.
Right.
Yeah, they still have you. They just have you sign a form saying, hey, you're not going to sue the city if we do anything. Which you guys do at your club anyway, right?
Yep.
And we're starting to do it at our field. But so great couple of days, and Barrett wanted to go up on Tuesday.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't quite do that. I was barely able to, con the wife into getting to go to this one, for a couple of days. I'm like, okay, we can leave Wednesday. That's about it. Because I can, Thursday, Friday, I can take off, but I can't do Wednesday. Sorry, buddy. So, but yeah, and it doesn't take that long to get there from here. It's a pretty quick shot up to Vegas, and then a crossover, and you're there. So yeah, so if we can think about doing that next year, that'd be awesome.
Yes,
or another year. It's a fun one.
Out.
And go to Chuckarama, the Utah's world famous buffet restaurant.
That's true. I've been to Chuckarama once or twice.
Yeah, good food. Yeah, we had a good time. We went there. We all went there. About a dozen of us went there on Saturday afternoon after the event, and just shot the breeze. And we definitely got some viewers out of this and some subscribers. So I think, I said if we just can, each of us plug away at an event here and there. And
That's
Did Mike set you up with some cards?
Oh, I hand out cards and stickers. I had stickers.
Nice. Yeah. Stickers too.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I had both. And
that's awesome.
And I was wearing, I had, you'll see in most of the pictures, at least on Saturday, I had the full regalia.
Represent.
Podcast regalia. That's right. Yeah.
Right. Well, so Jay said he thought you posted a picture or two on Facebook as well. So that's
yes, I did. I posted. I did 3 videos on our podcast website or Facebook page. So so there's definitely some good content on there.
Excellent.
Kind of highlighting what we were doing. I was going to try and do some interviews, but it just got so it's
hard to do that if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard.
And I'm not the only one. So Jeremy and his son have a site. Brent Heck's got a site. Just everybody's running around. John K would just wing it. Everyone's just running around trying to get content. And I was like, I just I still did my thing, but just kind of a little laid back. I wasn't quite as in your face, but I think we're good.
Yeah, we've been around a while, so some of these guys are just getting into it, and we've been 9, almost 10 years doing this. So we've been around.
Yeah,
but it's always good to have new listeners. We love it if you subscribe to us. Once again, click that button, and and we hope to see everybody at events when we go out to there. But we definitely will have to put that on our calendar for next year. It's that's what it sounds like. It's a super fun event, a beautiful field. Beautiful.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of tucked behind a neighborhood, beautiful neighborhood. It's on city land, and there's like the water treatment plant they just built back there, and they have a gate you got to punch a code in to get in, which is kind of cool.
That is kind of
cool. So leave it open for when they have the event, like the Friday, Saturday. But I was like, oh, I wonder what a place in this neighborhood costs. I want to retire up here because I don't know. I could almost,
you almost see that, huh?
I almost saw it. I was like, this field is, I love art. I love my field at AMA, but it was just, maybe just because of that red rock, it's like a kind of Sedona-ish.
It is kind of a nice, my wife constantly talks about it. Actually, she wanted us to look at some homes up there as well, just for a summer home kind of thing. But we, I told her we're going to have to wait.
It just died.
Yeah. You got to plug that sucker in.
Battery died.
Battery died.
Well, I think that works out because it's telling us our time is limited.
Time is up.
Time is getting close.
There you go.
So, yeah.
You got to take the cat to the vet.
Yeah, it's true. We got to kind of roll this up. But, yeah, we appreciate that you were able to go up there. I know it, something you look forward to. And we appreciate Barrett volunteering to, haul you up there in his van, even though he had a little bit of a mishap there. And glad that all worked out. And that his airplane came back in one piece. We're happy with that as well.
All those planes came back in one piece. He brought, 12 airplanes?
That's amazing.
One was for to give to John Kay. It was he'd sold him a little Polaris Porter he made for him, and then he'd made one for himself, and he had, I forget what all the planes he brought up there, but yeah, he just had, and I had like 3.
Yeah.
I probably could have brought a few more, but I'm like, you know what? I just, I can fly 2-3 planes and I'm good. But yeah, he just loves to, get all those different birds up there and fly them around. And that's awesome. That's what I love about this hobby. Just all the diversity, all the different things that we fly. I mean, there were so many cool planes. I can't even tell you. If you go on the, RC groups, they have an event page for this.
Right.
You can just look it up. You'll see gazillion photos. I took, between me and Barrett, I took a lot of pictures for him when he was flying.
Mm-hmm.
We took like 700 pictures, and he was actually happy with most of the ones I took. So that was good.
Yeah, that's always
like,
good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Well, Shannon, the biggest thing I'm also getting from you is you thoroughly enjoyed yourself.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that you enjoyed yourself, because normally what's happening when these events are going on, you're back there.
Busy.
For a guy who's an ex-president, former president, you normally, for your club, you're normally right in the thick of it, doing all sorts of stuff. So it's nice to see you come back nice and refresh, and you don't have any underlying stress that you're still trying to undo from yourself, or some problem that you had to work out while you're trying to enjoy your event. So it's nice that you went somewhere, you had a great time, no stress, no fuss, no muss.
Yeah, minimal stress.
Had a great time.
We had a little stress with the van, but other than that, we were good. But overall,
that's nothing.
Yeah, I took my comfy chair and
my comfy chair.
They actually had a couple of like recliners there, and so I was like in the poorhouse compared to that. They had like some old lazy boys.
Right.
And
cool.
Yeah. And but still, yeah, thank you. It was
well,
great,
you can dream.
Great time.
Yeah.
Dream of all airplanes flying in my.
Oh, I thought about the chair.
That too.
You too can get your
That's
chair
right.
with a double with a double arm with a double cup holder.
Yeah, I actually have a picture of him dreaming about RC airplanes in his chair. As I have to post that.
There you go.
I think we posted that one once before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the best time. So at least we're relaxed at the event. That's what we want to be. So.
That's true.
Well, our time is up. We really appreciate you attending and bringing back some great news. And we're looking forward to some photos. If you want to post some of those on our Facebook listeners group page, it'll be great.
Sure will.
We are always looking for new listeners. So if you attended the event and you are joining us, thank you very much for joining us. And once again, like, subscribe, check out our YouTube channel. You can find us on pretty much any of the Spotify, all the YouTube, or all the podcast channels. So our Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Spotify, you name it, we're kind of on there. So been doing it a while. But let us know. If you attended, give us a comment in the comment section, and we'll try to get back with you. One of us is usually kind of monitoring that, so we get an email when it shows up. We can say thanks. I think that does it for us. So from here in Arizona, I'm Michael.
From the hills of Texas, I'm Jay.
And Shannon G in Mesa AZ.
And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.